All right, so lesson 2.5 is about population density, which we started in the last one. So we're going to do some comparisons of population densities this time. So we're taking it a little farther. So in order to do this, you had to finish lesson 2.4, and you had to do the prep for 2.5, question number 5, which we were given states their land area and their population and asked to calculate their density. So recommended way to do that is you just highlight the given information and then paste that into a spreadsheet. Hide those. So I pasted that in and then I just did the calculation here. So calculation-wise, that's initially blank. Density is always equal to people divided by some kind of area. And then initially you probably get more decimal places. I just want to take that down to a 10th, which is what the problem asked me to do. Then we can fill that down. Okay, so now that we get that, we want to sort these out, and then we're going to do some other states and add that to our stuff. All right, so back to my worksheet here. So help me out. Let's see, Alaska's pretty undense, right? Yeah, so that's over here under 10. Yeah. So Alaska goes in here. And the order they go this way doesn't matter, but they got to be in the right column. Yeah. So let's see. Idaho is not very dense, Alaska, but it's bigger than 10, so it's going to have to go over here. Idaho, Kentucky, where does it go? 100 to 1,000?
Yeah.
Okay, so Kentucky. Louisiana goes in here. Nebraska's back here. New Hampshire is over here. I'm going to call that NH because I can't fit it. New Mexico is also over here. I'm going to call that MM.
No, it's not. No.
It's not. Oh, it's 17. For some reason I looked and saw 170. And new, it is over here. New. New Mexico. Next there. South Dakota. Ooh, just barely in here, huh? South Dakota. You want to go to South Dakota? Have I been there? Yes, I have. Is that where Theodore, I think that's where Theodore Roosevelt National Park is, which is, there's a bison range there. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. All right, let's see.
I've been through the Dakotas, just driving through.
Washington.
I've been all over the East Coast.
And
we drove from
Wisconsin
here to Wisconsin.
All right.
So we went all the way up through Montana, Wyoming.
Ready for the next challenge?
Yes.
Okay, next challenge is to take these other states and try and figure out where they go.
Yeah.
Okay. So we could start by guessing and saying, let's see, Georgia. Which state is Georgia most like that we already know about? Do you think it's more like Idaho, or is it more like Kentucky maybe? You're going to go with Kentucky. So we can just guess, right? So I'm going to put a GA right here for now. Let's guess at 2 more, and then we'll actually check it out. Let's see, Kansas. What do you think?
Nebraska.
Is Kansas like Nebraska, or is so it's like, I don't know. Kansas like Nebraska? Is Kansas like Kentucky or Georgia? Okay, so we're not sure. So we could say, oh yeah, maybe Kansas is here.
Kansas more like Nebraska too.
Which one?
Montana and Nevada.
Yeah, I think Montana is going to be pretty sparse, is my guess.
I've
bicycled through Montana.
Yeah, it
is
pretty sparse.
I biked for a day and a half without seeing a town.
It's going to be closer to like South Dakota or Alaska.
Yeah, so I'm going to say this is Montana.
Same with Nevada until you hit Las Vegas.
Nevada, yeah, except for Las Vegas,
Yeah.
Nevada's pretty sparse.
Pretty
So
sparse.
I'm wondering if like Montana or Nevada might be like with
They very well could be over
maybe
in Alaska.
I'm going to put a question mark there for now. Nevada could be, and V, that might be over here too, not sure.
Or
New Jersey.
Oh, I would say like.
So I grew up on the East Coast in Rhode Island, and you can't
New Hampshire,
spit
probably.
without hitting another person.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say Rhode Island or New Jersey and Rhode Island are probably way over here in the over 1,000. I'm just going to guess. I'm going to put NJ.
I would think with those. And
Oregon out east, we got a lot of open space.
Yeah,
so
but I would say they're pretty much like Washington.
They're probably like,
Similar
it's
to
pretty similar to Washington. Okay, so Oregon's probably over here.
I mean, they were almost identical states at times, it seems like.
Yeah, right, yeah, we're so much alike, right?
Southern Carolina, I would say, would be next to.
I would think Kentucky, South Carolina would be something along the lines of Kentucky.
It's an East Coast state. They tend to be more dense in population. So yeah, this is probably South Carolina over here. Did we skip anything? No. Tennessee. What do you think?
And then Wyoming.
Tennessee, I would say, would be like
I'm
Idaho or
thinking
Nebraska.
Possibly for that, but they're fairly. I'm thinking more along the lines like Georgia and Louisiana. For
Kentucky,
Tennessee.
yeah, I'm thinking Tennessee is probably in this column.
And then
Wyoming.
Wyoming would be they're pretty sparse too, so
yeah,
they could be
they could be in
the last,
second or first one.
Right in
Yeah,
there.
I'm thinking that too. All right. So we made some guesses based on thinking about other states. So let's actually look some of this up and see what we can find. So let's go to a browser.
Here would like questionable over to that.
All right. So what was a questionable? Okay. So what one we were pretty confident about? What? Give me one we thought we were confident about.
New Jersey.
New Jersey. Okay. Okay. So I was pretty confident about New Jersey. So I'm just going to type
they're
New
almost
Jersey.
like New York.
And what probably is going to pop up, one of the first things will be the Wikipedia page. And yeah, there's New Jersey Wikipedia. And one nice thing about Wikipedia is they generally give you some quick population stats over here.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, they actually probably give stop it. Let's see, total land area. Almost 9,000 square miles. Okay, so that's like, which of our other states? Where's my other spreadsheets? Right here. 9,000. So that's kind of like New Hampshire-ish. So it's about the size of New Hampshire. For some reason I thought New Jersey was smaller, but all right, and then people. Where's people? They give me the density. I didn't want to look. People is about the same.
Yeah.
Right.
11th for population, so yeah.
Oh no, sorry, people's million. Sorry, not thousand. Yeah, they have almost 9 million. So if you take 9 million, you divide by 9,000, you get about 1,000 people per square mile.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we put them in the right spot. Yeah, my recollection is New Jersey is like the second most dense place in the country. Anybody want to guess what the first is?
New York.
No, New York has a lot of countryside. Yeah, northern New York is like forests, mountains. Yeah, it's crazy up there.
Then what would it be?
The most dense, Washington, D.C. is the most dense.
District.
It's not a state and it's not a city, so it's more like a state than it is a city. Yeah, it's kind of both, a city and a state. It's its own entity. And then guess what's next usually? It shifts, year to year, but Rhode Island, so the top three are typically New Jersey, Washington, D.C., New Jersey, and Rhode Island. And they kind of jostle each other for the top three. Usually D.C. beats them all out because D.C. is just pretty much a city. Anyway, okay, so let's see. What else were we unsure about? Let's go to the lower end.
Wyoming?
Yeah.
We weren't sure about Wyoming. All right, so let's look up Wyoming. So I'm going to bring up a new tab, Wyoming. And Wikipedia page, there you are. All right, so Wikipedia says, let's see if I can, we have, stop it, almost 100,000 square miles. Okay, that's a pretty decent area there. Mm-hmm. And then people is five, ranked, in terms of population, yeah, they have about 500,000 people. So 50,000 people divided by about 100,000 is like 1 person per square mile-ish. 5, okay, I was a little bit off. About 5 or 6 people per square mile. Compare that to Alaska.
Yeah, it's definitely in that last one.
Right, so let's see, where did that
What about
go?
Nevada? I'm curious.
Alaska was 1.2 people, so There's a few more people per square mile in Wyoming than Alaska,
Mhm.
but it's still pretty sparse. Okay, so that moves over. Which one were you asking about?
Nevada.
Nevada.
Nevada and Montana.
All right. Nevada.
I would say Montana's probably pretty similar to Wyoming because they're about the same.
Wikipedia. I love Wikipedia. It's such a great site.
Yeah, I go to Wikipedia a lot for a lot of things.
Okay. Let's see. 100,000 square miles and 3 million people. Oh, check it out. They're in that second column. 26, almost 30 people per square mile.
The third one then?
Oh, so then Nevada would be in the
In the second
Third.
column,
The second?
isn't it? Or
No.
The third.
The third.
no, the second column is 10 to 100 people.
No,
no,
the
that's
third
the
column
third
is.
column.
Oh,
The
sorry.
first
I'm going from the
100,000.
other direction.
Yeah.
I'm reading right to left, not left to right. Yeah. You're right. 10 to 100 people there in that third column. You are correct.
What about Montana? Because
Montana.
they're about the same size.
I think
I'm thinking Montana's going to be
about the
like,
same, like Wyoming and Alaska.
like Alaska and Wyoming. Yeah, that's my guess still.
I was born in Montana and I've lived there a couple of times and I've been through it quite a bit.
7 people per square mile.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a little more dense than Wyoming. That surprised me. I thought Montana would be less dense than Wyoming.
What about Oregon? For some reason, I'm not completely sure about Oregon because we've got a lot of like forests and deserts.
Yeah. But that whole the whole west side of the state is pretty populous anymore.
Wikipedia. For Oregon, we've got about 40 people per square mile. How did we compare to Washington? Washington was 100.
So we're less, so we're even in the third one for Oregon.
Yeah, so we're on the third one. Okay. Yeah, so maybe it's that whole southeastern
South
area.
Yeah, the whole
Carolina.
southern desert area of Oregon. It keeps us pretty.
What about South Carolina?
All right, South Carolina. Let's see.
Because
South Carolina, Wikipedia says we have a land area of 32,000 square miles, so pretty small state relatively. 5 million people, 157 people per square mile.
so it is the second column.
So it's at the second column, yeah. All right, what else were we unsure of? Montana, Nevada, Wyoming.
Kansas.
Okay, so Oregon gets moved, right? So let me help clean this up. So Oregon moves over here. Wyoming moved over this. I got to erase that, start over. Wyoming and Montana definitely moved, but Nevada did not. Is that right?
Nevada got removed.
It's in that.
It's in the third
10 to
column.
100.
I have it in the third spot. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So let's see. Wyoming goes over here, and what was the other one?
Montana.
Montana. Okay. Nevada stays put. Rhode Island moves. South Carolina stays put. We did check Georgia, didn't we?
I don't think we checked Georgia.
We did not. All right. Michaela, which did you say? Check.
We didn't do Georgia or Tennessee.
Georgia. Oh, Kansas, that's what you said. All right. Georgia, oops, that's the county. I want the state. Go. Georgia has 60,000 square miles, 10 million people, puts it at 165 people per square mile. We put it in the right spot. Yep. Cool. All right. What was next? Kansas?
Mm-hmm. And then the last one is Tennessee.
All right. Kansas, Wikipedia says 82,000 square miles, 3 million people, 34. We had it in the wrong spot.
No,
No.
No?
It's in the third.
Oh, we had it in the third one?
Yep.
Okay.
no, Tennessee.
All right. Tennessee. 2 N's? Yeah. E-S-S-E-E. Tennessee, that's probably it. Yep. And 42,000, 6 million people, 159 people per square mile.
So, yep, we had it the right one. We're pretty good with most of them. There was only a couple that we were off
So
of.
let's see. Oh yeah, Kansas we got. All right, cool. We did good. All right, so what were our strategies for estimating here? We compared to states we knew. That was our estimate. After that, we calculated, or Wikipedia calculated for us. It's very kind of them.
Now 3.
Okay, number 3. Find which state from your table has the greatest population density.
Look, that would have been New Jersey, wasn't it?
We never did calculate Rhode Island.
Oh, we didn't do Rhode Island.
We just knew it belonged in that category.
Yeah.
Rhode Island. Rhode Island, by the way, is about the size of Umatilla County, but there's about 1 million people living in it. Wow. So there's about 1,000 square miles and about 1 million people. It is the second most dense at 1,006 people per square mile.
So New Jersey is.
So New Jersey was less dense, is that right? Slightly?
New Jersey is more dense.
New Jersey was more dense? Oh, New Jersey, yeah, it's the first now, yeah. Okay. So New Jersey is the densest. And so what we want to record there, in addition to stating the population density, we should state where it came from. So that would be a land area of 8,723, we could call it. 8,723, if we round up, is the area, and the people, which is the numerator, sorry, I gave you that in the wrong order, is 8,908,520.
And then we just divide that.
That division is going to give us about 1,210. Add that to my notes here. So for number 3, so number 2, look up there.
Okay. I have to get out of here.
Okay, good luck. I'll finish recording this and
Okay.
I'll send that to y'all.
And I will be working on math for the weekend.
New Jersey has about,
I will see you guys on Monday,
Okay.
weather permitting, hopefully.
yeah, weather permitting, yeah, we should be okay.
They weren't calling for snow today, but boy, it was snowing this morning.
I know. Okay.
Hopefully Monday.
Hopefully Monday, yeah.
She's crossing fingers at this
Praying
point.
no snow. Hi, Julia. All right. Number 4 asks for the least dense state.
Alaska.
Yeah. And Alaska was one of the ones we started with, correct? So let me find that in my messed up stuff here. All right, so I had Alaska with 710,231 people and an area of 571,951 square miles, which gave us a density of about 1.2 people per square mile. And in some of the work we do, we talk about unit rates. When you carry out the division, that's what's called a unit rate. We basically turn the denominator into a 1. All right, what's next on our list of fun and games?
Tillamook, Washington has a population of 200,000 and covers approximately 62 square miles. New York has a population of 8.4 million and covers about 469 square miles. If Tillamook has the same popularity density as New York, what about the population? What would the population of Tillamook be?
Okay, so let's see. So we're going to do a comparison. So we talked about ratios before. So whenever I do a ratio, the first thing I do, actually, I'm going to copy this into my sheet because I can't write here. Make a proportion. So a proportion is just two equal fractions. And what we want to do is we want to make Tacoma as dense as New York City. All right. So first thing I'm going to do is write down my numerator is people. My denominator is square miles. And then I'm going to write down, let's see, we want to keep New York stable but change Tacoma. So we're going to write down New York first. So New York has 8.4 million people. So 8,400 would be thousands. So 000 would be 8.4 million. Okay, so there's 8.4 million people. And they have 469 square miles. So divided by 469 square miles. All right, so up above that, I'm going to write that that's New York. And then I'm going to write equals in another fraction. And this one's going to be Tacoma. So let's read that final question again. If Tacoma had the same population density, that's the fraction, as New York, what would the population of Tacoma need to be? All right, so this is our missing number up here. So I'm going to put a question mark on the population of Tacoma for now. So we want to know how would we have to increase the population to make it as dense as New York. But they are stuck with the same area. So the denominator is going to be 62 square miles for Tacoma. And remember, to solve a proportion, it's a cross multiply and divide. Mm-hmm. So in this case, I would want to multiply the 62 by the 8 million and then divide by the 469. So I'm going to have to get my calculator for help on that. All right, so I have 8,400,000 times 62 divided by, what's that, 469? And I get, ooh, that's a lot of people. 1 million people, roughly. So I get about 1,110,440, let's round up to 448 people would have to live in Tacoma. Tacoma has about 200,000 right now. So I think 5 times 2 is 10. So we would have to have 5 times more people move to Tacoma to make it as dense as New York City. Wow.
That is one crowded state.
That would be pretty crowded. And yeah, and this, and again, they're talking about New York City, not New York State. If you looked at New York State separately because of the northern end of New York, it's wicked sparse. So New York State is not very dense, even though New York City is. Now, something to keep in mind here, another way to think about what we did, if I take that 8 million divided by the 469 square miles, that's the population density of New York City. And so what we did is we just multiplied the density by the area of Tacoma. And that scaled the number of people, right? Okay, cool. Moving on, we're almost done. Next stage of our adventure. All right, most of the world outside the US uses the metric system. So it is often useful to make comparisons using the metric system. So let's see. Bangladesh has a population density of 1,127 people per square kilometer. And we're given the information that a kilometer is about 0.62 square miles. So which of the following statements is most accurate description of the relationship between a square kilometer and a square mile? All right, let's see. So based on a square kilometer and a square mile, oh, we have some work to do before we can answer that question. All right, notebook time. Page. Screen flipping. So at the moment, we're not ready to answer any questions about Bangladesh compared to the US. What we do need to do is talk about square kilometers versus square miles, which we actually have done something like this before. So 1 kilometer is equal to about 0.62 miles. However, I want to compare square kilometers to square miles. So the question is, how do I change kilometers to square kilometers or miles to square miles?
You just put it to the second power.
You just square them, yep. So 1 squared is 1, that's nice. 0.62 squared, let's see, without a calculator, that would be 0.62 times 0.62. Just for fun, 2 times 2 is 4, 2 times 6 is 12, 6 times 2 is 12, 6 times 6 is 36, 37, 4, 4, 8, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so about, let's call it about 0.38 if we went to 2 significant figures. All right, so if you think a third is about 0.33-ish, it's about a third of a square kilometer. Right. A square kilometer is about a third of a square mile, that is, right? So this tells us a square kilometer is about a third of a square mile. So looking back at those statements they gave us, square kilometer is about a sixth, nope. About 2/3, nope. About 1/3. It's that third statement that's true.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if you converted the density of Bangladesh to square miles, would the measure be larger or smaller than 1,000? So we're given at the top that Bangladesh has about 1,000 people per square kilometer. So if we converted that to square miles, would the measurement be smaller or larger than that? So how big is a square kilometer again?
1/3.
So all these people are packed into a third of a square mile.
So it would be smaller.
Okay. Well, are they packed into a whole square mile?
No, it'd be more.
It'd be more, yeah, because we packed them into a smaller area, which means the density would be bigger. Yeah, that's a tough one there. Okay, so I think the density would be bigger because the area is smaller. That's my belief on that. And then we'll do the calculation to check. So I believe the density in square miles would be larger because a square kilometer is smaller. In other words, we're packing all those thousands of people into a smaller space than a square mile. Right? So let's do the calculation to check it out. So let's see, we're given that there are 1,127 people per square kilometer in Bangladesh. We want to multiply by a conversion factor that gets rid of square kilometers. So that means square kilometers would have to go in the numerator of our conversion fraction, and we're going to change it to square miles. And we believe that 1 square kilometer is about 0.38. Is that what we calculated? All right, so this tells me that I'm going to take the 1,127 and divide it by 0.38, 38 hundredths. All right, so somewhere here I have a calculator. There you are. 1,127 divided by 38 hundredths. Oof, that's like 3,000 people per square mile, roughly. Let's see. That gives me about 2,966 people. So we don't deal with parts of people, whole people only, please, per square mile. Yeah, so it's quite a bit bigger. A third smaller land area gives us 3 times the density, roughly. All right.
How many people would be in Tillamook if the population density were the same as Bangladesh?
Oh, Bangladesh. Oh, that's an interesting one. So back to New York for just a second. Let's see, what was the population of New York? Was it 8.4 million?
Mm-hmm.
So if we take 8.4 million and divide by 469 square miles, 469, New York, oh my gosh. Did I get that right? Yeah. Has a population of like 20,000 people per square mile.
Yeah, but this is for Tillamook.
Tacoma.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm just saying, so remember before we compared Tacoma to New York City, which is more dense, New York City or Bangladesh?
Bangladesh.
Bangladesh has how many? 3,000-ish?
2,966.
Yeah, and New York has 17,900. So it turns out New York City is more dense than Bangladesh. So we're basically going to do the same kind of thing that we set up for, let's see, New York. Tacoma versus Bangladesh. So we're going to set up a similar proportion. People go on the top, and square miles go on the bottom. We're using Bangladesh as our standard, so that's going to be 2,966 people per 1 square mile. So that's Bangladesh versus Tacoma, which we're going to say we don't know how many people are going to go there yet, but we know there are 62 square miles. Yep, 62 square miles. So that would be one way to do this. Cross multiply and divide. Whip out our friendly neighborhood calculator. So 2,967.
It equals 183,982.
Yep, got it. So we get, because of our nice rounding earlier, this works out pretty nice. 183,954 people would have to live in Tacoma. Currently, Tacoma has 200,000. So versus 200,000 currently. So what can we say about the population density of Bangladesh versus the population density of Tacoma? Are they very different or similar?
Very different.
Why?
Well, one's a larger number.
Which one?
Wait. The 2,000.
Yeah, so this is the actual Tacoma. This is if Tacoma were Bangladesh. Is 180,000 much different than 200,000, or are they kind of sort of in the same ballpark?
They're the same.
Yeah, they're in the same ballpark. So it turns out Bangladesh is about as dense as Tacoma. Neither are as dense as New York. And guess what?
We're done.
We're done. Congratulations. Applause. All right, so catch up on stuff this weekend. Do good math. Hit the message your instructor if you get stuck on any homework problems or prep problems.